All right, this is Mr. R.L. Lehtonen. Today is the 29th of April 2025, and I just discovered a certain photograph which I will publish in the Google link sites.google.com/file/ and then the long number and alphabet series after it. Just in the headline of this video, which I'm now recording, I will publish the link in which there is this photograph of a 19-year-old Canadian Alexander, and I'm not going to say who he actually is because there are many Alexanders around, of course, and did he visit me in Finland? Did I take that photograph in Finland just a few days ago? That is the question. That's a riddle which nobody can solve. But just like those texts on that Finnish language discussion forum called Ydilauta keep telling me that this entire concept of Alexander is just within my own imagination, that it is not real, that this entity called Alexander is a non-existent dream which has nothing to do with reality. There is no such a person as Alexander. There has never been, there is not such a thing right now, and there will never be such a thing in the future. And that's all there is to it. Good heavens. Well, at least I have the liberty to fantasize that Mr. Alexander, remember, who is now 19 years old, is my lifelong gay marriage companion. And take a look at that picture. I actually fantasize about kissing him and hugging him when he has almost no clothes on whatsoever, that he is only dressed up in Speedos, just like he is in that photograph, and there is some kind of shopping bag on the floor just beside him, in which there is the word store. Does that word refer to some kind of drone store in which this imaginary entity called Alexander is working? Well, how can an imaginary entity be working in a real store? That is also another riddle. Well, what can I do about it? Nothing. Because a certain elderly Bulgarian women predicted to me that the real Mr. Alexander, if there is one, will never ever visit me during his entire lifetime, which I believe to be absolutely true, because if there is such a real thing as Mr. Alexander, he will never ever have the guts, he will never ever have the courage to visit me in Finland because he is afraid. Have you lost your nerve? Have you lost your nerve, Mr. Alexander? Yes, you have. You don't have the nerve, you don't have the guts, you don't have the courage to visit me face to face because for some odd reason you are scared of me, even though you don't have any real grounds, any real reason to be afraid of me, but that's what you are. Hence, you have been writing the most awful texts originally in English, and then you have been translating those English texts of yours by using some kind of artificial intelligence connected translation program, language translation program, which has been translating your original English language messages to Finnish language. And the result has been fluent, flawless Finnish language. for you to be able to fool me and others that those messages would have been written by some original Finn who speaks Finnish language as his native language, which is not true. It is you, that's what I believe, who originally have been writing those messages and then posted those Finnish language translations of your messages to that Finnish language translation forum called Ylilauta. Okay. But that photograph which I have and which I present in that sites.google.com link below in the headline of this same video, which I'm still recording, has been pacifying me, and it gives me hope that after all there might exist some kind of gay marriage companion of mine whose name is Alexander and who is also 19 years old approximately, and he's from Canada. But nobody can accuse me of referring to any specific real person, because I only say that his first name is Alexander and he is about 19 years old. So what? And that photograph does not contain any 100% nudity, because the young man in that photograph has put on his Speedos. He is dressed up in his Speedos. Okay, so now I have the human right to fantasize about a lifelong gay marriage companion because I don't yet have one in the real world. And besides, Canada was the first country in this entire world whose government legalized gay marriages decades ago, and Finland also has legalized gay marriages. That law came into power on the 1st of March 2017, if I remember correctly. So, and of course, the Parliament of Finland voted for that law, and it has not revoked that law at all, and it will never revoke that law, of course not. So what I'm supposed to do with my life, other than pacify myself with the idea that eventually the person in that photograph will materialize in front of my eyes in the real world, so I can see him face to face. When I just think about it long enough, yeah, that's the only way to survive. I mean, for me at least, because it helps me keep calm and maintain my peace of mind. And that photograph containing that young 19-year-old Canadian boy whose name is Alexander is very handsome. He's so sexy. Well, I don't usually wish to entertain such thoughts about my one and the only gay marriage companion. I don't want to go to that level, but the photograph portrays Mr. Alexander in a very sensual way. Let's put it this way. The photograph is very sensual, and it makes me wish to hug and kiss him and even lick him a little bit, his naked body parts. I'm not a dirty old man, but this is the only way that I must confess. I mean, why keep on pretenses? Why keep up pretenses? I don't want to pretend that the boy Alexander in that specific photograph looks very sensual, and he makes me wish to kiss and hug and lick him. Just a little bit. Not for too long time, but just at least a little bit. So then we could officialize, is that the correct English language word? We could officialize our lifelong companionship in a magistrate's office in a city hall by registering officially our gay marriage. And I will never wish to divorce him, of course not, unless he turns out to be, I mean, his behavior towards me, if it turns out to be awful, as it most certainly has been many times on that Finnish language discussion forum called Ylilauta. But I cannot verify this notion of mine 100%, so I leave it open to discussion, of course. But anyway, I must have him as my lifelong gay marriage companion. Otherwise, I will just wither and die like a flower which has not been given any